country and we the people on UST Party Radio.
Welcome to UST Party Radio, God, Country, and We the People, with Bill Gruber and Kaz Taylor.
Kristan Hawkins is a pro-life leader with the Students for Life out of Washington, D.C., and she's been following healthcare issues as they relate to abortion. Hi, Kristan. How are you today?
Good. Thanks for having me on.
Have you been watching the TV of late, Kristan?
In and out of meetings. I was listening to a lot on the radio, and I get the urgent updates from the House Republican whip, so I'm getting a bunch of stuff.
Well, this is a hot subject, as you know, pro-life and pro-choice, and why don't you give us a little bit of an update on this vital issue, if you would?
Sure. Well, I've been listening today. We really haven't been hearing anything on social issues. They're trying to keep it a lot to budgetary things. But what's interesting, the president came out Monday with his version, his plan of health care, which was almost line for line the Senate bill that passed the Senate on Christmas Eve. We'll all remember that vote for the rest of our lives.
Well, we didn't remember it on Christmas Eve because we were doing things that they knew we were doing and not paying attention to them. Those were pretty sneaky ploys, aren't they?
I was up watching it on Christmas Eve. I was up. I got up early to watch that. But basically the Senate bill allows for government-funded abortions. The House bill, the bill that passed the House in November, does not. And so the president, by being silent on the issue, has basically endorsed the Senate version of the abortion language, which would allow states to opt out of receiving federal funding. But you as a taxpayer cannot stop your money. Even if your state would say, we don't want our money going towards abortions, that won't stop your money from going to another state, say New York or California, and paying for someone's abortion in those states. And so I've been watching closely to see if anyone would bring up these hot-button issues, but really, abortion has been a dividing issue for them, and most of the pundits in Washington will say if it wasn't for this one issue, they could have passed this bill. Mm-hmm. It's the one thing that the Democrats will not compromise on is abortion. They owe too much to the abortion lobby itself, and so they're not, while they'll compromise on other things, they're not going to compromise on this, and they've made it pretty clear they don't want to do that.
Do you happen to have any statistics, Kristan, as to what the mood of the nation is in terms of this issue?
Oh, yeah. We're polling various polls. We poll in the 60s and 70 percentile of people who do not want taxpayer-funded abortion. Depending on the day, it will depend on the specific amount, but I've heard percentages as high as 72 and 74% are against taxpayer-funded abortion. It was funny, just about half an hour ago, Vice President Biden got up to talk at the summit and said, we should be humble. We shouldn't, guess as to what the American people think. And I've been in this town for 37 years, which is one, way too long. And two, then he says he can't even guess as to what people think. He hopes he knows what people think, but he's not real sure. And my question is, what the heck were you doing in the United States Senate if you don't know what people think?
Yeah, exactly.
That's your job in a representative democracy.
And he got up there and admitted...
Yeah, he got up there and admitted he didn't know what people were thinking. Well, that's the problem. That's why you're here. That's why you're doing this dog and pony show today, because you want people to think that you care about their opinions, and obviously you don't.
We're talking with Kristan Hawkins, who's a pro-life leader with Students for Life. And one of the things, let's back up just a moment here and get kind of an overview of the Democratic mindset. A lot of the Democrats are of Catholic background. Yes. So one of the things is the Catholic Church is saying, hey, no abortion stuff at all. How are they reconciling this as far as voting for or against this legislation?
It's the same old thing if you're a Catholic and you're not in public office. What they do is, well, I'm personally against abortion, but I can't tell someone else to kill their baby. And that's exactly what these legislators do, even though they're in a position of great power. And the things that they're voting for, if they pass this bill of taxpayer-funded abortions, they will be directly responsible for millions of lives, and they know that. And so it's the same old mantra of, well, I'm personally against it, and that's what the church, I agree with the church, but I don't agree that I should legislate my morality. We have separation in church and state for a reason, is the thing that they claim. And that's really that's a big cop-out answer. If you believe abortion is killing a human being, why the heck would you legislate it?
Exactly.
Why would you say it's okay to do?
Exactly. Well, Kristan, the Tea Party people have an increasing amount of leverage in things like this. If you were a Tea Party person, what would you do with a Democratic senator or legislator that has espoused their Catholic belief and is going against this, what would you tell them to do or not do as a Tea Party goer?
I would remind them what exactly abortion is. Really, emails aren't working at this time. A lot of, we've sent, hundreds of thousands of emails into the offices. I'm telling people to write, but writing takes too long. So faxing and calling offices are the two most effective ways, quickest ways to reach a representative. And remind them, this is what abortion is. If you actually believe abortion is the killing of a human being, how can you say it's okay that you're going to fund it for others to kill human beings? Obviously, there's a disconnect. Either you do not believe abortion is killing a being, or you're just immoral and you think other people can kill other people. So you need to really make that point home. If you believe it's killing of a human being, you need to act like it. And we need Tea Partiers across the country contacting their congressmen and women and saying, you know what, I'm against taxpayer-funded abortion, and guess what? The rest of the country is too, and we vote.
You mean, the thing is, though, Kristan, that it just seems that this fight has been going on for long, and I'm not by any means suggesting that we should drop the fight, but it's falling on deaf ears in a lot of cases, and regardless of what the people say, they continue to move toward that position.
That's what we think, and especially being in Washington, that's how I feel sometimes. But you know what? They're really paying attention. I got a great memo yesterday from the minority whip in the House, Eric Cantor, where he actually listed out the votes for Nancy Pelosi and the votes that she has and has not on the Democratic side for health care. And right now, she doesn't have the vote. And a lot of those are because you've got people who are leaving the Democratic Party, they're retiring, and you have Democrats who are afraid of losing their seats in November. And so we really have to hit home that, you're going to lose your job. If for nothing else, you need to vote no on this bill for self-interest for your own job and your own power.
Now, they're likely to pull the reconciliation card. What do you have to say about that?
I think reconciliation will pass the Senate. I think they'll muster up 51 Democrats to do it. What the issue is, you've got a lot of people in the House, a lot of Democrats from moderate Republican districts who are going to vote against it if it passes via reconciliation, because the people in their district are going to be in an uproar because people know this is being undemocratic. They're going to try to pass this as a budgetary item through reconciliation. And you've got a lot of people who are fundamentally opposed to that. And we even say, even though they want health care reform, they don't want to see them go that low.
We're talking with Kristan Hawkins, who's a pro-life leader with Students for Life out of Washington, D.C. Talk a little bit about, Kristan, about Students for Life and what you guys do.
Sure. Students for Life is a national nonprofit. We're dedicated to equipping the pro-life generation. This generation is pro-life. We believe we will be the ones who can end abortion in America. This is the closest we've ever been. So we actually go to the college campuses, start pro-life groups, and train pro-life leaders. So we're there beating the pavement online all the time, social networking sites, Facebooking, Twitter. They're meeting with the students, working with them, and helping them to end abortion in their communities.
Kristan, you made a statement that's a whopper of a statement, and I want you to defend it a little bit. We only have about a couple minutes left in this show, but in this segment. But you said this generation is pro-life. Reconcile that statement.
Yeah, you look at the Pew Research polls that are coming out. They've been doing some great studies on millennials the past year. And this generation polls socially liberal on immigration, on gay marriage. But when it comes to abortion, we actually poll conservative. It's the one issue that we poll conservative on. What's interesting is they're seeing it as a human rights issue. So when you're talking to young people about abortion, I urge your listeners, talk about it as a human rights issue. This is a human rights issue. You're denying a person life, and you're harming a woman for the rest of her life, and really hit home that this is a human rights issue.
That's tremendously encouraging to me, Kristan, because my perception was that the youth of America fell into a very liberal bent, but what you're saying is there's actually hope out there in terms of the youth of America coming against this.
There is hope. They do poll liberal. We know they're going to vote liberal. They've always done that. But on this issue, they're polling conservative. And so there is hope for us. There's great hope for us in this issue.
Kristan Hawkins, pro-life leader with the Students for Life. What's a website that we can find out more about you and what you do? For me, studentsforlife.org. And then for healthcare, stoptheabortionmandate.com.
This is the U.S. Tea Party Radio, broadcasting from WSRadio.com, the worldwide leader in Internet talk.